Great to be here on this Monday. Kevin Thomas, he is Ben Troop. Glad you are with us on 3 and Out. Hit us up on Twitter at Pigskin Radio. We are streaming live at ESPNCoastal.com as well. And you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. And you can watch us live there as well if you're not near your radio. So, or if you're listening to us on the radio and you're like, hey, I got to go back into this important meeting. Just put us on the YouTube channel and watch the quotes rolling across the bottom. Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
We'll stay with 3 and Out. YouTube channel is ESPN Coastal there on YouTube. But been a lot to get to. We'll chat with Fred Owens later in the show of Tomahawk Take. Braves. Don't call it a winning streak. But I'm afraid to. But they are on one. Swept the Rockies 5 games now in a row, back to 500. We've said this a bunch. Could this be a turning point? And I say that if they lose to Oakland tomorrow and go back. But are we starting to see the turning point in the schedule tip their way? And again, you're 8.5 behind the Mets. Hey, that's fine. I think goal 1, get to 500. And if you can keep pressing above 500, as we've seen, you're going to be there come the end of the year. But 5 in a row, obviously that means a little something given what this team's been doing.
I mean, Kevin, no, we don't got to act like it is a win streak, a nice one too. And I think when you think about what the Braves were able to do, gains some momentum. Now, those pesky Dodgers, those pesky Mets, they find a way to keep winning. But you can't really, it has to be less about trying to keep pace with the Mets and controlling what you can control. I mean, I know we're going to get to, Ronald Acuna Jr. finding his stride. I mean, when this guy's playing well. But I just think that, Kevin, when you think about this team, we kept saying the magic number was 3. Now, you wanted to, obviously they swept the Rockies, but when you look at what they was able to do, go on a nice little winning streak, build some momentum, and it seems now obviously 8-7 last night, which got a little scary there, but a win is a win. I think when you think about this Braves team, is control what you can control. Don't get to looking too far ahead. Don't get to worry about what's going on in your division. Control what you can control. Go out there and play extremely well, because I do think that Kevin, especially with a team like the Braves, they're so hot and cold. They were so hot and cold. I mean, one day it'll be the bats. Next day it'll be the pitching. Next day it'll be, next day it'll be the bullpen. I think when they can find a way to put things together, it makes everybody better. It makes the starting pitching a lot more confident. I hope that Ronald Acuna Jr. is becoming more of a day in, day out. I want him getting back to just playing every day. Ronald Acuna Jr. had a really, really nice post-game interview. He's sitting there talking about he's gonna do, the ice tray. I know he do the little. He does his little celebration when he gets his home runs, but that's the Braves, though. The Braves is a team of personalities. You have a lot of them. Matt Olson. I mean, I know we're gonna get to him later on. Really, 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 really found a way to get back into his groove. And Matt Olson always has that, the ghost of Freddie Freeman on his shoulder every single day. But I think he uses his motivation. I do like it when players like a guy like Matt Olson understands, look, man, right, wrong, and different, you replace the man. Right. And that's going to be on, but the great thing about it, Kevin, you put their numbers together. He's really, really similar to what Freddie Freeman is doing. But I think that when this team is mashing, obviously Ronald Acuna Jr. being inserted into their freaking outfield is going to make them so much better. Very, very young and very, very, very good in the outfield when he's out there. You'll take a nice little win streak, because a game of momentum starts with the confidence. When you're winning, you're more confident. I can't remember the coach that says better. Listen, man, your lady looks more beautiful. Whatever you drink, it tastes better. Life is better when you're winning. But shout out to the Braves, man, finding a way to go into a weekend. Kevin saying, look, we gotta keep pace, but we got to build some momentum. We got to build some confidence. Check, and check. But they got those Oakland A's coming to town. I know Matt Olson's old team. You want to try to stick with your winning ways, because, like I said, don't play down to bad competition, even though that bad competition are in the bigs, and you are still the defending World Series champs. So you're going to get their best. Matt Olson, don't lose your mind, trying to swing at everything to try to go yard against your old team. But great weekend for the Braves. Kevin, went into the weekend, we will say, hey, man, they need momentum. Coming out the weekend with a lot of momentum, a win streak, I'll take it.
Absolutely. And again, look, I think this is a team that's been playing much better as of late. Michael Harris, along with Ronald Acuna in outfield, you've seen that really come up in terms of the defensive level of play out there. And as you said, Matt Olson's going to be wearing Freddie Freeman as the comparison, maybe for the rest of his time in Atlanta, which we know with the 8-year deal is going to be quite some time. Somebody put the numbers next to each other. Matt Olson's hitting 255. They played basically the same number of games. Matt Olson's hitting 255. Freddie Freeman's hitting 294. You go, okay, that's a huge difference. That's 40 points. Okay, I get it. Matt Olson with 7 homers. Freddie Freeman has 4. Matt Olson with 28 RBI. Freddie Freeman with 30. Matt Olson, 829 OPS, which is on-base percentage plus slugging, and Freddie Freeman with 834. So very comfortable and comparable there. Matt Olson, I believe, is first in the National League in extra base hits, in doubles. So he's getting it done.
Yeah.
Like you can look at it and say, well, Freddie's hitting almost 300 and Matt's hitting 250. The numbers are pretty close. You get 3 more homers with Matt Olson, about the same number of RBI, and they're getting on base and slugging pretty much the same. So, look, you could talk about, oh, he's not Freddie, he's not this, he's not that. You're getting pretty much the same. Pretty much the same. Now, has he made a few more errors defensively? Sure. Is he actually came out and said, look, I'm not playing the type of defense that I expect myself, that people thought of me when we got here. But through that all, you have basically swapped out Freddie Freeman. You've done, I think, to a degree, what Alex Anthopoulos, was he forced to do it? Maybe when they played, Freddie Freeman and company played hardball with one another. But you basically have the same type of player happening at first base right now with Matt Olson.
And Kevin, I mean, I will say this too. I mean, not to make excuses for a guy like Matt Olson, but how much more pressure was on him when you got to run Acuna in and out of the lineup. Sure. And then when you talk about a team that was pressed, and he's coming onto a team that has, he's a part of the World Series champs. He wasn't a part of the previous team. And Matt Olson has a tremendous amount of pressure on him. One, he signed an 8-year deal, in the air, coming from LA, or coming from California, to Florida. Then you think about, what he's trying to live up to. People say that worst, he is the third best, our first baseman in baseball. At best, he's probably number 2, right? You know who number 1 is. People say, well, he's not Freddie Freeman. Well, nobody is. But I do think when you talk about what Matt Olson brings to the table, he brings power. He can leave the yard on you. And when he's poised at the plate, he's very, very, very dangerous. I just think for Matt Olson, it's always about the same thing I say about a runner. Be yourself. Like, when this team is playing at its best, guys can be comfortable. Because I get it. Baseball is a game of averages. It's a game of who is failing at we all failing. I'm just trying to fail at a slower rate than everybody around me. But Kevin, I'm at the end of the day, I'll take that OPS any day. 829. I'll take that. Close your eyes and say, I got a guy, he's batting 255. He got 7 home runs. He got 28 RBIs. He got 829 OPS. I'll take that any day of the week. But I think when you compare that to what he brings to this lineup, he's fitting right in. So if you go have somebody replace Freddie Freeman, I'll take Matt Olson because, like I said, different circumstance. Obviously, the Dodgers are the Dodgers.
Sure.
I'm not taking nothing away from them, but last time I checked, the Dodgers are not the defending World Series champs. That will be the Braves, and that's going to be that until proven otherwise. But great job by the Braves all weekend long. That breath of fresh air to say, Ronald Acuna listen, when he's doing his interviews and he's smiling, he probably had a good. I think he went 4 for 4. I think he was out there just going crazy. But I just think that with this team, Kevin, be yourself, let the personality just flow through. And I think that when everybody is healthy and everybody's, out there having fun, they prove to be a very, very difficult team to beat.
Yeah, look, absolutely. Look, I will look at what this Braves team did this weekend. And you say, oh, they beat Colorado, who's struggling. Yeah, no Chris Bryant. He was injured, not playing. Look, you go to Colorado and weird stuff happens. I don't know if that's the same way in football, Ben, and if you ever got a chance to play at Mile High Stadium, but with baseball, you go to Colorado and weird stuff happens. You don't go there and just say, hey, we're going to pitch a shutout. We're going to do it. No, it's like you saw Friday or Thursday. It was like 13-6. And then you come back Friday and it was 0-0 going into the extras. Saturday, 1-1 went to extras. This is a series, Ben, where you say, what has not happened well for the Braves this year? Well, when the offense hadn't gone well, sometimes the pitching falters. They went and won a game it was 0-0 after 9 in Colorado. Point 2, where have the Braves struggled this year? Oh, they stink in extra innings.
Yes.
They won not 1, but 2 games in extra innings this weekend. So I feel like from a momentum standpoint, from maybe a situation where you look at it and say, look, For whatever reason, we stink in extra innings. We can't get to it. Because I know a lot of people on Friday night, I was reading Twitter, folks. Nothing. A lot of people, I can't believe it's 0-0 in Colorado. And the Braves are going to blow this thing in extra. Like the number of people, I'm beginning to believe it. It's not, I don't believe in a curse, but I do believe Atlanta fans just have a mental block. I won't call it a mental, I will call it a mental block that they just always think bad things are going to happen. And you saw this team come out and prevail in close ball games and in extra innings and get the job done. Ben, did you get a chance to play in Denver? Did weird stuff happen?
Oh, it did. And for those who don't really understand the air, it is serious.
You can't breathe.
Like you get off the plane, it's like you looking around, and it really takes getting used to. I played in Denver, I think I played twice in the preseason, like twice during the regular season, one time on Monday Night Football, and it's rough now. It is rough. It is an advantage for the guys that play in Denver, because at the end of the day, it's not something that you get used to. I mean, I think it was so crazy to where Ryan Clark, who played for the Steelers, he had sickle cell anemia. He couldn't even. You can't even go. Like what? Because you could. You could die if you get off this plane and you can't. So that area is, I mean, even coming through the airport, you ask yourself, you look around like, what's wrong with you? Like, what's wrong with you? Like, yes, they call it Mile High for a reason.
Yeah.
But I will take those type of results anytime if the Braves, and like you said, Kevin, crazy things happen when they definitely play the Rockies.
Look, Colorado is a wonderful place. I will always sing the praises of Colorado as a beautiful state to live in. I know folks that lived, outside of Colorado Springs, beautiful country. I will say this: you can't breathe there. When you come here from sea level Georgia, and you go out to Colorado, like I literally was standing. Like I'll never forget the last time I was there, because they say it takes you a couple of days to really feel better about it. Last time I was there, I'm literally just standing there talking to somebody, and I catch myself like trying to take that extra breath. It's like, I'm not even doing anything and I'm out of breath. I did play some, pickup basketball when I was there, and there was a really intense kind of series of about 30 seconds back and forth. This was when I was younger days. I was in a little better shape. And after, where it's like full court sprinting for about the last 45 seconds to 2 minutes. And I said, timeout. And I went and laid on the floor, and I could not get my breath back. And it was amazing. So, and I will say this: your lips get chapped in like 13 seconds. Well, I went to visit some friends out there. They're like, hey, make sure you bring, the chapstick. I'm like, why? They're like, there's no humidity.
Look like you out there kissing powdered donuts.
I will say this: coming from coastal Georgia, you go out to Denver, and they're like, it's 90 degrees.
Yeah,
but it's 90 degrees at altitude and no humidity. It feels great.
Oh yeah.
And there's like no bugs and all that kind of stuff.
When people when people come from the West Coast, or they come from the Midwest, and they say, "Hey man, I'm coming down Southeast Georgia, man. It can't be that hot."
Oh
Next thing you know, hey man, how y'all deal with this? Hey man, this is what it is.
I was, like I said, I as a Georgia boy was out there in the summertime, and it felt great during the day. Then the sun went down, and that wind started blowing off the Rockies.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna tell you, it was July. I had on long johns.
Come on.
Had on jeans.
Yep.
Had a sweatshirt on. I was freezing, and they're laughing at me. I'm like, how do y'all do this? It was 90 degrees. Now it feels like 12 outside. But it was amazing. Yeah, you can't breathe. It's hot, and then it's cold. It's just a weird place. And the Braves go out there and get the job done. So much to get to. We'll leave our altitude talk for another time. We'll come back. College Football Hall of Fame ballots out. Some guys out there on the first time, including one Timothy Tebow.
Okay,
we'll talk about that when we come back. It's 3 and Out, Southern Pigskin Radio Network. Good to have you back on this Monday here on 3 and Out. College Football Hall of Fame ballot is released. Ben Troop, Tim Tebow on it for the first time. Now, obviously, folks are on there many times, but Tim Tebow on there for the first time. Ryan Leaf on there as well. But you talk about the criteria. You have to go through a whole bunch of things. Coach can be eligible after retirement, but he's got to be at least 70. So Nick Saban, is he 70 yet? Getting close. I don't want to age him there, but like,
I think
let's just say,
if he ain't 70, he got to be right.
Let's say Nick Saban retired 4 years ago. He still had all those championships.
Yes.
Maybe the best to ever do it. He'd have to wait until he was 70 years old to get on the ballot. 70. That seems a little bit excessive. But first, here, this is what it says. This is from the Football Foundation. First and foremost, a player must have received first-team All-America recognition by a selector that is recognized by the NCAA and utilized to comprise its consensus All-America team. So, I don't know how many people put out a All-America ballot, but to be recognized by the NCAA, I think there's like 2 of them. That's tough.
Mm-hmm.
As we've talked about, there's a couple of dudes that ran the football at Georgia that might be in the top 5 all-time SEC, never got first-team All-America because, there's only two running backs to get that across the 130 schools. 2 can't be in the College Football Hall of Fame. I think it's time we change some of that.
It's crazy. Kevin, we always talking about the Hall of Fame on this show and how hard it is to get in any one of them. College, it's like the College Football Hall of Fame. They try to make it almost, like the unthinkable. Like this person, how you gonna get in? How you gonna do this? How you gonna do that? But no. Unless you were just, weren't born, which is, possible, and you just never watched college football, Tim Tebow is going to get in. And this guy did about all you can do in college football. First team All-American, first team All-SEC, SEC Player of the Year, 2-time national champion. I want to say 2-time SEC champion, Heisman Trophy winner. Was the youngest Heisman Trophy winner at the time before Lamar Jackson came through and broke that. Almost 3,000 career rushing yards, 57 touchdowns. Has too many records to name. But Tim Tebow, arguably one of the faces of college football forever. When you talk about what he meant to Florida, what he meant to the sport, just an iconic figure. He's going to get in. I think the thing about College Football Hall of Fame, Kevin, is you start seeing some of these names, you start saying, look, I'm not a part of the committee who has to put together these rules, but
sure,
rules are set so that we hey, these are guidelines. I get it. But these things are kind of crazy. Some of these, there are going to be guys that had incredible college careers that's not going to get in. I think Mark Ritt is on there.
Mark Rick's in as a coach, yeah.
And I know he's. And this thing, if Mark Ritt can't get in until he's 70, what are you doing that to him for? Hey, Mark, you on the list?
Yeah,
okay.
No, it said you have to be out of coaching 3 years and at least 70 years old. Like, why are we making? Apparently you don't. Apparently you just have to wait 3 years to get out of coaching, I guess. Because Mark Rick's not 70.
Yeah.
But that's where I was reading it from their bylaws. That out of coaching 3 years and at least 70. I don't think it said or 70 years old. But, Mark Rick, again, and this is where it's tough. Because I heard Christian talk about this on Second Down, where we don't go to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. It is a criteria of sorts, but we don't go to Pro Football Hall of Fame and go, must have at least a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Right? There's plenty of guys in the Hall of Fame that, hey, I'm a great player, elite player on a team that just couldn't get there.
Yeah.
Right? And you're still Hall of Fame. Dan Marino. Dan Marino threw for more yards, was in the playoffs, all that. Don't have a Super Bowl. Nope. Right? But is Dan Marino not deserving of Pro Football Hall of Fame status? Of course he is.
Yes.
So I think in college football, to me, I think it's time you look at the criteria. Look, I think, hey, must be just because in today's day and age you are not a first-team college football All-American, to me, doesn't mean you weren't one of the best players in the country. that's just me, Ben. Because again, if you look at it and say first team, unless we're going to do one of those things where like, hey, on our first team we had 67 players. Like, no, you're talking about 44 guys a year. Now, I would understand this argument. I would disagree with it, but I understand the argument, Ben, and say, hey, Hall of Fames are elite.
Yes.
Not for the
no
very good.
No,
it's for the elite. So by you saying you must be first team All-American, you are excluding a lot of really good players. However, I think if you look at certain guys and say, look, Nick Chubb, was he not? I mean, he's going to go down. Todd Gurley, right? Was Todd Gurley first team All-American? I'm thinking he was. Like one, I remember one of those guys. Like they're both in the top 5 all-time rushing in the SEC.
Yeah, it's
so it's like how like, come on, like that to me would be egregious. But I think when you look at it, I will hear the argument. It's the Hall of Fame, not the Hall of the very, very good. I get it. You want to keep it elite, and by doing that, but normally when you say that, MLB, we're talking about 30 teams. NFL, we're talking about 32 teams. In college football, you're talking about 130.
Whoa.
At the D1 level.
Hold on, Kevin. You said something. Check this out. I'm gonna give you something. NFL Offensive Player of the Year, NFL Offensive Rookie of the Year, 2-time first team All-Pro, second team All-Pro, 3-time Pro Bowler, 2-time NFL rushing touchdown leader, Pro Football Writers Association All-Rookie team, first team All-SEC, second team All-SEC. That would be a one Todd Gurley. He is
so
not
no
eligible.
All-American.
No,
that's crazy.
And I think the thing is too, though, right? As a person that's blessed enough to be in the Florida-Georgia or Georgia-Florida game Hall of Fame, I think what happens in these situations is I look at the Hall of Fame the same way I look at anything else. Can you tell the story? Because, Kevin, we don't know how they do these All-American lists anymore, do we? We really don't know how they decide who does what.
Well, there's probably 10 guys that are
people
worthy of being
in. Calvin Johnson was a Hall of Famer in the pros. But he was a Hall of Famer at Georgia Tech, too. Did you see him? 2-time first-team All-American. And I just think that there are going to be some guy. It's almost like this. It's almost like they should invite everybody who can't get in to a ceremony and let them see the guys who got in. And be like, I want y'all to see these guys.
I mean,
Nick Chubb is not eligible.
I will say there's a lot of dudes on this list.
Yes,
that are. I mean, Kevin Hardy, Marvin Harrison,
wow.
Garrison Hurst,
wow,
Craig Hayward,
wow.
I mean,
Ray Lewis,
Sebastian Janikowski.
Wow.
I mean, Brady James was
Brady James at LSU.
It's like, yeah. Would you say Brady James was he? I mean, when you think Brady James off the top, you're like, is that one of the best? And he was a first team All-American.
Yeah. Now, as a person that had to play against him, I would go, yeah. Because what happened is, now the problem is about the Hall of Fame. It takes so long for guys to be eligible that you got to be squinting. Like, wait a minute, when did he play? How did he play? No. Brady James, he was a phenomenal linebacker for them. I got a lot of aches and pains dealing with old Brady James, but Kevin, like I said, Luke Kuechly ain't in yet. Luke Kuechly hit everything that moved.
And you say that, Ben. I will point this out. Luke Kuechly, did he play? I'm trying to say did he play 4 years? Or did he come out early?
I think he came out. I think he only played 3 years.
Look it up real quick before I give you this stat.
Okay, you're gonna give me.
I will because Luke Kuechly, he's a 3-time first team All ACC performer. So my guess is he only played 3 years because dude was a beast. All right, so how many tackles? So 3 years at best. Yeah. No disrespect to Boston College, but at best we're talking 12, 13 games with a bowl game.
Okay, he only played 3 years. He only played 9, 10, 11.
Okay, so Luke Kuechly had 3-year college career.
Yeah.
3 years. Boston College was no front runner. So let's just assume that they made it to a bowl game all 3 years.
Okay.
And that's what, oh boy, I'm going to have to do math. Math, that's 13 times 3. That's 39 ball games.
Mm-hmm.
If my math is correct.
That is correct.
39 ball games. How many tackles do you think Luke Kuechly ended up with?
Oh, Lord.
In 39 ball games.
I would say 400.
Close. 532.
So
and he played 3 years.
So this thing, 530. Just to show people that's equivalent. If I'm being honest, That's equivalent to about 5-6 people. Like that's a 5, and he only played 3. Like he only played. It's almost like no. Think about that.
No, because I remember
He's
talking
coming back
about this.
He come back for a senior year. Coach goes, Luke, listen, we love you, bruh. There ain't nothing else you can do.
No, this is for real. I mean, think about this. If he comes back for his senior year at Boston College, he might end up with 700 tackles. 700. That's insane. Second all time in NCAA history, and he only played 3 years. Yeah, I want to know who the guy had first.
Most tackles in college football.
Oh, I'm sorry, Ben. I'm sending Ben down a Google spiral, but no, you see some of these guys on there. It's like, to me, Luke Kuechly, a no-brainer. 532 tackles.
No, Luke Kuechly is number 1 all time.
Oh, it is? Well, in his bio, it says he is second in the NCAA at 532, leader in BC and ACC. Again, this is from the Football Foundation, so maybe listen, Football Foundation maybe have it wrong.
No. Somebody could have come along that played 12 years in college and just no. When I go to total tackles career leader, he has 532. Marcus McGraw has 510.
Well, it doesn't say Division I, so there could be somebody in D2 or somebody has more than that.
And to show you what I mean, these are the top 10 colleges that did it. Boston College, Houston, Temple, Virginia, Texas Tech, UCLA, San Jose, Central Michigan, Ball State. So
that's a D1 record for sure.
Listen. Whoever has more than him, they probably had 2 medical red shirts. And I mean, hey, man, but Luke Kuechly,
I don't know how you do that, but
Luke Kuechly is gonna get in. I mean, Ray Lewis is the guy I saw on the list. Reggie Bush. Wow, Reggie Bush and what he did at USC. It's gonna be a lot of guys not get in, and rightfully so. It doesn't mean that you weren't an incredible player, but it's only room for so many people. And this Tim Tebow class going to be serious just because and Tim Tebow gonna be last. Did everybody get to say something yet?
Yeah.
All right, Tim Tebow bringing his entourage. He has a whole little section over there. But hey, man, shout out to the potential Hall of Famers, man. To even get recognized is pretty prestigious.
Absolutely. Hey, speaking of lot to live up to, we'll get to that when we come back. It's 3 and Out on the Southern Pigskin Radio Network. Good to have you back here at 3 and Out. You know, some guys just have it differently than other folks, Ben. Right? The Terminal. Thank you. We were talking Tom Hanks. Sorry, I didn't say that.
By the way.
We were talking about that.
Kenosha. Oh, whatever he said.
Yeah. Does Tom Hanks make bad movies?
No.
Hit us up on Twitter at Pigskin Radio. Does Tom Hanks?
No.
You tell me one that you think is bad.
And was the first movie you ever seen with Tom Hanks big? That's the first movie you ever seen with him?
And that was a good movie.
It was dun, had everybody trying to get the life-size piano.
Yeah, look, I'm telling you. I don't have to particularly think it's great, but Tom Hanks.
Listen, when Wilson floated away,
we were all crying. But anyway, I'm saying Tom Hanks does not make bad movies. Tom Hanks made millions of people emotionally connect with a volleyball. The end.
Please get him. Please get him.
We were all in the movie theater going, oh, man, he lost his buddy.
Come on, get him.
He lost his friend. He lost his buddy.
I'm sorry, Wilson. You should be sorry.
I'm saying to do. That is one of the scenes where you're watching it in a movie and you're going, I'm sorry, and you feel how many people, and you're like, that's a volleyball. And
how many people go to the beach, make fire, and go, I have made fire. Like everybody, like Tom Hanks is. Listen, Saving Private Ryan. It just, what?
That's what I'm saying. We've named like 10 of them. He's the voice of Woody and Toy Story. Name a bad Tom Hanks movie.
He is the voice of Woody. Oh,
that's what I'm saying. Again, hit us up on Twitter at Pigskin Radio, Facebook, YouTube. Give us a call. Name me a bad Tom Hanks movie. I want to hear it because I'm thinking you're going to be hard pressed to find, even if you don't like it. It's even like him or the kid.
And if I see somebody say Forrest Gump, you are banned.
What's the movie where he's going around trying to find like the heritage of Jesus? He's great in that movie. What is that movie?
What is the what?
I forget what it's called. That was a good movie. I'm forgetting the name of it because he's made 700 movies and they're all good.
Tom Hanks, that dude. He just. And Tom Hanks.
If you tell me Tom Hanks is in it, I'm going to go watch it, and it'll be good.
Tom Hanks never had to do this either. Tom Hanks never had to get all ripped up. He ain't never had to he ain't had to be all ripped. I'm myself. I'm myself all the time. Yeah. I got that. Listen, I got that subtle.
But he knows how to dive into a character. Forrest Gump. Come on, man.
Catch me if you can.
Again, nothing but bangers for Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks is that dude.
Sorry, that was a side discussion that we're now bringing to the radio show, but I'm telling you.
No, he
because we were talking about this with Christian Gokel, and I said Tom Hanks doesn't make bad movies, and he kind of gave me the side eye. I said, "Are you disagreeing?"
You talking about Inferno? Is that the one you talking about? He chasing up?
No,
he got Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood. He got The Post. He got News World. He got. I'm trying to. He got Bridge of Spies.
If I see it, if you say the name, I'll remember it. It's on all the time on the cable channel.
Oh my God, he got Sully. Well, he had Sully. He had to land the plane. Remember the guy that had to land the plane?
Yeah.
Hey man, he got. Oh my goodness.
It's not Sinners Over Saints. It's something like that. But it's the first one in that. And why I can't remember the name of it right now, but it's amazing.
Parkland. He got Parkland.
He's like running all over.
Oh, you're talking about the Da Vinci Code.
The Da Vinci Code.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Castaway is just. I'm just saying.
Tony.
I was thinking about Angels and Demons.
That's the second movie.
The fact that the Terminal was such a beautiful movie.
It was.
Tom Hanks, whoever got something bad to say about me, you come holler at Kevin Thomas. Because Tom Hanks is that dude. No, he is. I know that our Christian Gokel is going to tell us some bad Tom Hanks movies, but you're going to have to dig deep to find a bad Tom Hanks movie because he just don't do it. Oh my God. One of the best Tom Hanks movies, The Green Mile. Just deal with it. John Coffey. The Green Mile was
Mile is like, and again, that's like 27th on the list.
Road to Perdition.
Are you kidding me right now? Like Road to Perdition. Like I love gangster
Cars. Movies. Hey man, Tom Hanks. Look. Oh. A League of Their Own. Come on, man. Baseball.
Ben,
again, baseball.
Ben, we've named 20 movies, and you got to a League of Their Own, and that's one of the best.
Has he got Lifetime Achievement Award yet? It's not happening for him yet because
if you're telling me that Tom Hanks has to get into character and play a role, and I'm not talking about where you see guys that are like, hey, I'm going to play a version of myself, but like he has to get into like the Forrest Gump, all that. Like no question, home run, going to be a smash hit. I don't care what anybody says. We were going to talk about something else, but I got to take a break. I will not stand for this Tom Hanks critiquing from Christian.
We won't stand for no tomfoolery.
All right. Hit me up on Twitter at Pigskin Radio.
Come on.
Give me a bad Tom Hanks movie. This has got me fired up. And I want a reason why you think it's bad. And don't be like, oh, he's so no. Why is the movie bad? Probably not because Tom's in it.
Come on. Co-stars all day long.
Tom's over there going, how many of y'all do I have to carry in this thing? The end. We'll come back. 3 and Out, Southern Pigskin Radio Network. So we pull Christian Gokel in the break. I'm going to stay on this. Listen.
Come on.
He comes out and says, all I'm saying is that he makes bad movies like everybody else does. I said, okay, hit me with one. And he goes, what about this one from 1984 or whatever it was? He's like, Tom Hanks has made 93 movies. You know there's a bad one in there. I was like, I haven't seen it, so I can't claim it to be a bad movie. All I'm saying is you show me a movie that Tom Hanks has been in, it's probably good.
I mean, Turner and Hooch.
Turner and Hooch. Not an A+ list movie. It's a good movie. It's very good.
Great movie. No, Tom Hanks is serious. Like if you're sitting there in the acting studio,
I will let it go, I promise.
No, you sitting there in the acting studio, you talking to Tom Hanks, and you saying, man, look, you took your handprint had blood on it. You stuck it on the volleyball, cut the top of it out, called it Wilson, and he became real, literally. Or, Toy Story, Woody. I'm sorry, man. Like that's iconic. You don't believe me? Why did you ever watch Shrek? It wasn't for Shrek. It was for Donkey. with freaking Eddie Murphy. I'm serious. Turn people's voices, and then you want the dramatic? Favorite Private Ryan, right? The
man has range.
Listen. Tom Cruise, he might have the looks. Okay. Tom Hanks got. Listen, I got the pedigree. What you want to do? I'll go all the way back to the 80s, baby. I'm saying Tom Hanks, whatever you want to do, go out there and get it done. The man has range, and he never had to get ripped up like Brad Pitt and Troy to do it. I'm gonna be me. That's what I'm doing. He chased Leonardo DiCaprio for a whole movie and hired him at the end. That is the movie, people. I'm serious. Like, I'm the captain. The Captain Phillips was another beautiful movie.
Again, we're like, here's the problem. We're like 30 deep on the Tom Hanks playlist. Christian Gokel's hitting me with something from 1986.
At the end of the day, if Tom Hanks was a singer, his greatest hits, he got about 7-8 albums of just great hits, just boop, just hit after hit after hit after hit.
I'm not going to stand for the Elvis slander. Or for the Tom Hanks slander. Yeah, somebody just texted me and said he's also in the new Elvis movie. Looks good.
He was also in That Thing You Do.
Yeah, That Thing You Do.
There you go again.
That's all I'm saying. There are certain guys and gals, but Tom Hanks, to me, doesn't make a bad movie. I'll watch most of his movies over and over and over again. It's all good. I'll move on. I'm going to let it go. Got my blood
Who's
pressure
better,
up a little.
Tom Brady, Tom Cruise, or Tom Hanks? Deal with it.
I will say this. Tom Cruise is another one, though. I would say I would lead slightly toward the Hanks and not Cruise. But Tom Cruise, even some movies that weren't great cinematic releases. What is it? The Edge of Tomorrow? Not a great cinematic release. Good movie. You know what I'm talking about? Edge of Tomorrow, where he keeps dying over. Good movie. Good movie. Sorry. Minority Report. Good movie. What is the War of the Worlds?
Yep.
Good movies. I will say Tom Hanks, though, a little more my taste, just slapping out hits after hit. I mean,
I would love to know what movies Tom Hanks turned down. Because a lot of times the A-listers, they get a bunch of them.
I turned down ones that would have been even better if he'd have been in it. Anyways, moving on. Speaking of royalty, Ben, what's it like, you think, being Arch Manning right now? Arch Manning is making the rounds. Arch is college football royalty.
He is.
Well, he's not yet.
No, yeah, he's not yet. He's a part of the royal family.
But Eli and Peyton are his uncles. Archie is his granddad. Cooper, who had a neck injury, probably would have played in the pros, is his dad. And he's the number one quarterback in the country. His name is Arch.
Ouch.
Named after granddad.
Yeah.
And he's the number one recruit. He's out there, walking around Athens.
Yep.
All the dog fans going, we want Arch.
Yep.
Texas wants him really bad.
Yep.
Obviously, you got legacy at Ole Miss, and you got Tennessee. What must it be like, Ben Troop, to be Arch Manning right now in the age of NIL? My last name is Manning, and I'm going around hitting all the big timers who want me to play quarterback.
I'm just going to say this. Back in 2002, I was blessed enough to be able to go out there and catch a game with a touchdown pass against Thomas Davis. I tried to reach out to Thomas Davis since then to have him on the show. Thomas Davis told me, quote, he told me, quote, I got practice, dog. Thomas Davis was in Athens over the weekend to be there for his, quote, friend Arch Manning. I know a lot of things. Did he know Arch Manning growing up? Maybe. Arch Manning get legends like Thomas Davis to help him go around campus. I mean, hey, Kevin, it's good. It's great to be a man. His name is Arch. First name Arch, last name Manning. 5 stars in front of his name. Bank account about to be loaded no matter where he goes. Because now Georgia got the prestige. Texas got the cheese. We will see who wins. Because he could do what old boy did that went to Ohio State. I could take the cheese and I always wanted to be a dog.
I mean, we got about a minute, Ben. Where do you think he goes? Because again, people are like, where do you think he goes? I'm like, he's not going. Well, I shouldn't say he don't want to go to Ole Miss. His uncle and granddad have their names up on the ceiling, and granddad's number is the speed limit.
Yeah.
You can't go there.
I will say this. If Texas does the unthinkable this year, wins the Big 12, finds their way into the college football playoff, I think he goes to Texas.
Well, wow. Now, listen, you just got the gears spinning. So 2023, if he were to go to Texas.
Oh.
Just hear me out. The Mannings have a plan. You want to write legacy? What if we get close to the end of these media deals and conference deals and Texas and Oklahoma say, we'd like to go a year early. You are now a Manning at Texas in the SEC.
And the Red River.
I'm just saying.
And for 1 year, the Red River rivalry just happens to be played in Atlanta.
How much NIL is that guy going to get lined up for? Because I'd like to know. It's going to be something serious.
Hello. Give me that cheese.
Yeah. We'll come back. Take 3 around the corner. Southern Pigskin Radio Network. Great to be back here with you on 3 and Out. Kevin Thomas, Ben Troop. Glad you're making us a part of your day. I feel like Tom Hanks should be co-hosting with us by now, Ben. As much as we've talked about him today on the show. Doesn't make bad movies.
You don't.
Sorry.
Let me tell you something. If I made 93 movies and I got to squinch, I got to go way back to the 80s.
Like he was trying to say one, hey, what about this? Was it a good movie? I was like, I haven't seen it. Oh, so I was like, well, because I haven't seen it doesn't mean it's bad.
I mean,
right?
Yeah, I mean,
like I haven't seen Harry Potter. A lot of people love those things.
I mean, Ben Stiller, Will Ferrell, great actors. They did Zoolander together, right? That don't mean they ain't great actors though, as far as what they do. But to me though, that's how you know when you good though. When I got to reach way, man.
Yeah.
Like if the average person told Tom Hanks about the movie, he goes, "I did that." Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, no, Tom Hanks is that dude.
And even if you wanted to make a reach and say, hey, I'm just going to name movies until I get to a bad one for Tom Hanks. I mean, what? Out of 93, we're at least rolling 45, 50 deep before we get to a bad one. I feel pretty confident about that.
Kevin,
anyway.
Kevin, at the end of the day, Kevin, you've been doing radio a long time. That's like somebody said, man, when you first got radio, you said this. You like, I said what? And
yeah.
Like, if you,
no, that probably was bad.
But no. But at the end of the day, no, here's the thought. But I say this, though. Yeah. What about the people that's coming on the radio and left? Oh, that's right, because I'm still here. So you don't got to like it, but I am still here. So there it is. And Tom Hanks, ladies and gentlemen, is still here.
That's right. Hey,
93 movies in.
We've got more to come. Maybe I should change a take 3 question to see what your favorite one. We'll do a bonus take 3 at the end of this thing. It's 3 now. Let's take 3 on this Monday. All right, Ben. Take 1. Apparently, Rob Walton. Yes, that Rob Walton.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Rob Walton, he is one of the heirs to the Walmart fortune, is going to have, it's not officially announced, they're going to do it later, but is going to have the winning bid to buy Cody Queen's Denver Broncos.
Uh-oh.
For the, what is there? For the slash down price.
Oh, yeah, for the markdown.
Yeah, for the markdown price.
You know what I'm saying? He knows about markdown.
Yes, this it comes with a little yellow smiley face next to it of $4.5 billion to get the Denver Broncos. Better question, though, Ben, will he be the last of individual team owners? Like we look at Jerry Jones, we look at Arthur Blank, but then you start looking around, like Liberty Media owns the Braves.
Yeah.
There is a conglomeration of people, Magic Johnson included, that owns the LA Dodgers.
Yes.
Like people say, oh, Magic owns the Dodgers. Well, he does and he doesn't. Like he is one of many people
that go to the meetings.
He's one of many people that own it. Is this dude one of the last of the individual team owners that we will see? And when we get more like faceless conglomerate, because $4.5 billion is a lot of scratch to come up with.
As far as like noticeable billionaires, I would go yes. Because this is the thing. I mean
Elon Musk, but does he want to buy a sports team? I mean, I don't know.
He want to buy one a day, and then he'll wake up tomorrow and want to do one. Well, Kevin, think about this. I mean, LeBron is a billionaire, right? Everybody always say LeBron gonna have ties to probably end up owning the Cleveland Cavs. But the going rate, because of LeBron, you are a billionaire, singular.
Yeah.
It's gonna take some plural billions to do it. Now, I would say probably it's probably gonna be like, because here's the thing, Kevin. I mean, if the Denver Broncos, great franchise, great history,
Yeah.
John Elway, you know what I'm saying, Mike Shanahan, Terrell Davis, so on and so forth. They went for 4.5.
Yeah.
So what'll happen is, right? I think the Clippers went for $3 million.
No, I think they were $2 billion.
$2 billion. Yeah. This is the thing, right? So the Denver Broncos is up for sale. Boom. If a known franchise, just out of Jerry Jones no longer wants Dallas Cowboys, could he get $10 billion for him? Probably. And that's
how many dudes are walking around that could scratch $10 billion together?
Well, that's the thing, right?
To make that purchase.
This is the thing, Kevin. All right,
And I get it. Don't tell me, they don't actually pay $10 billion. No, I get that part, but like you have to at least have the backing to say, if the bill comes due all at once, I could get this thing covered.
This is the thing. Like, Rob Walton walked into his bank.
I said, I think I'll buy the Broncos today.
He goes, hey, I want to get the Broncos. They're like this. Well, sir, I got it. We got to go through the price. They look it up.
We put a bid in.
You got $59 billion. So with this 4.5, you're going to go down to a whopping 55.
But it won't really because the franchise value. So his net worth will stay about the same. I just
think, you know, people talk about money, right? People talk about money. If you Rob Walton, the son of Sam Walton, and I think his brothers and sisters, they
all get a cut of that.
I think it's like 3 of them, and all 3 of them are like top 10 and like career earnings or whatever. Rob probably was like, look, I guarantee you this happened. It went to the sister. I don't know about no football. Cool. He went to his brothers. Hey, I don't want to hear no funny stuff. I'm getting the Broncos. No. Kevin, for me, I think what makes it so crazy is we say $4.5 billion.
Yeah.
And we be like, listen.
I can't scrape together $4.5.
You can buy, you can buy a couple of countries for $4.5 billion and have some bunch of change left. No, hey, listen, shout out to Rob Walton. I think, but this is the thing too. The fact that pro franchises, they don't come up for sale very often.
Right.
I can tell you who probably finna come up for sale. They probably gonna force them out. That'll be one Dan Snyder. Now, you don't got to like it. If the Washington Commanders come up for sale, that is going to cost a grip. And you start saying, listen, it ain't no. Yeah, we know a couple. We know of a couple of billionaires, and we don't got no billionaire friends. Like, man, you gonna get to Washington Commanders or not? I think this might be the last one.
Yeah, I'm saying, but like by themselves. Yeah, hey, I'm the sole owner. It stops and ends with me.
I think it's gonna be the last one because I think what happens is, Kevin, you got to have. I mean, disposable income is one thing,
right? But like $4.5 billion to Rob Walton is like, okay, if not that he's gonna make money, but like a lot of people don't say, hey, if I have $4.5 billion, that might be the entirety of my estate. That's like 10%, right? Or 10% of Rob Walton's estate. He's good for it. Look, I just wonder when you're seeing more and more guys put in bids to own franchises, it's usually, hey, we got 5 or 6 multi-hundred millionaires together to pool some money to try to put a bid in on this thing. And we know we'll all get our money out, right? I mean, because that's the nature of sports franchises, either through profit, through ticket sales, through what have you. We're going to get our money back out. Despite what MLB owners say, NHL owners, what it is profitable to run a pro sports franchise.
Yes.
It is. You are going to get your money back. But for one dude to walk in and say, yeah, I'm going to drop $4.5 billion. And somebody says, well, we're going to need 5. Okay, fine, 5.
No,
you know what I mean? So it's like, he can,
now,
I just don't think you're going to have that money.
I always try to do this real quick before we go to you are, Kevin, you ran into a whole bunch of, what's the people that used to, the Beverly Hillbillies, what's the name?
Yeah.
They had a little song.
The Beverly Hillbillies.
You came into 50 billion.
Some Texas tea.
This thing. You came into 50 billion, which means you want something that's yours, like, to be like, hey man, this is like every billionaire's got to have something to show off. Ain't talking about house or real estate.
Is that his 50 billion or is that dad's 50 billion when he's like,
Dad's
hey,
probably saying, you're welcome, all 3 of y'all.
I'm out of the Walmart game and the Sam's Club game.
Do you buy a pro franchise because you're like, this is it. This is the one, Mr. Thomas.
I would because I'm not gonna lie. If I had $50 billion, I would want to own the Atlanta Braves. Why? Because I'm just saying. But I also know if I did that, I would make money, right? You know, so I'm like,
could you really like? Would you be?
Hey, Fred, look at me. $50 billion, or if I bought the Braves for $4 billion, that is you know what kind of money. So you could call me the worst owner of sports. I do not care. I will be the worst owner of sports. I say, excuse me, a couple $100 million I'm sleeping on as a pillow. Get out of here. No, it would be fun to do that.
That would be. I mean, you would be like Kevin said, like, hurry, come on, man, let's cut this ribbon because let's get right.
When does that first check hit the bank? I want to start making that money back. All right, moving along. Take 2. Ben, from a lighthearted subject, more serious. A 24th woman has filed a complaint against Deshaun Watson during a alleged massage session. Do you think this is Ben Troop? Ben is not a lawyer. Do you think he actually plays this year? I just want to make that clear.
Yeah.
So
it's looking really dim, and what makes it so dim is the delay is. Look, and when it comes to these young ladies, we hope that everything like works out in their favor as far as like the legal process. But as far as like Deshaun Watson, it's the delayed response by the league. All we've seen from Deshaun Watson is he found out guilty from all the claims, and then he signed a $230 million, extension to become a Cleveland Brown. Kevin, because it's all about image, because it's all about reputation, because it's all about catering to, all fan bases, women in particular. If it was 8 games, I think it'll probably go to 10, and the Cleveland Browns just won't play him for the last 7 because it's almost like this, Kevin. Everything gets its.
But as people have said, again, innocent until proven guilty, whatever. But the point is, it's not like it's 2 women.
Well,
it's not 3. It's 24. Well, so I mean, I'm not saying he's guilty, but
it's like this, and I am not comparing the 2. I'm just giving an analogy. Marcelo Zuna in 2021. It's well documented what him and his wife went through.
Sure.
I am not condoning it, but Kevin, think about 2 reasons. One, man, what does it make us look like as a franchise if we bring him back?
And there were a lot of people who did not want Marcel playing for the Braves this year.
And number 2, more importantly, we on a World Series run. The last thing we need is that. So I will say this: Deshaun Watson and him with the young lady, it's such a you never heard of anything like this. So I think the thing about the league, Kevin, popularity is. I mean, look at how many games overseas they're doing now. It used to be 1, 2, not 3 and 4. I think with Deshaun Watson, because let's face it, once he comes back, he is one of the faces of the league. I think right now they're putting together a PR strategy for Deshaun to say, all right, and Kevin, when Roger Goodell, because Roger Goodell is going to announce this one. It ain't going to just be Adam Schefter. It's going to be Roger Goodell going out saying, had a talk with Deshaun and his representatives. He understands. It's like, sorry, man. Deshaun is one of the key components. $230 million? Think about this, to put that in perspective. 2 years ago, Deshaun Watson signed the second largest deal in NFL history behind who? Patrick Mahomes. He gets suspended for a year and comes back and signs a $230. So I think right now there will still be number 2 right behind Patrick Mahomes. But yeah, Kevin, I don't see him playing this year. It sends off the wrong, and I know this sounds bad to the listener, but it sends out the wrong message. And listen, innocent until proven guilty is the protocol when it comes to, but he's also a public figure. He's also a celebrity. So the court of public opinion is what's not going to be on Deshaun Watson's side. I just don't see him playing the 20. Plus, the Cleveland Browns had it set to where he was only going to make $1 million in 2022. His money don't hit till 2023, but for Deshaun Watson's sake, for people thinking $230 million fully guaranteed, that's predicated on you are on the field.
Yeah.
So if he ain't on the field in 2023, now we talking something totally different.
And it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. Quickly, Ben, take 3. Georgia. We've been seeing this. A lot of kids hitting the Twitters over the weekend. Big recruiting weekend for Georgia. Been handing out those all-white unis to the recruits to pose in. By I mean the white pants, white jerseys, and a white helmet. A lot of recruits been putting out there. A lot of people saying, Georgia going to wear those things? Do you think Georgia would actually wear an all-white head-to-toe uniform now that we've seen recruits sitting in them on the visits?
Yes, because for 2 reasons, right? It's not about catering to your fan base. It's about catering to your demographic. Who is your demographic? That would be the players. You're going to have to, and number 2, Kevin, they've already won a natty. So all that, we can't wear that. No. Kirby got a lot more say-so now because he finally got over the hump with, winning the natty. Plus 2, Kevin, I mean, look, the University of Florida did Gator jerseys. Literally. Gator. Do I want one? Yes. Hang up. But I just think that, Kevin, it's all about the 17 to 20. Listen, as they say, I know I know how my bread is buttered, or however they say it. Hey, man, you better go out there and do, because that could be the difference in getting recruits or not. I mean, I've never seen more defensive tackles want to wear single-digit numbers in my life. I want 2, I want 3, I want 4. You telling me? So listen, I think at one point Georgia did wear white breeches. It ain't always been the silver breeches for all of you out there. Now, they made the silver breeches, these between the hedges and the silver breeches, I get it. But if you wear all white with an all white helmet, if you get the brakes beat off you, you ain't going to never see that again, which probably ain't going to happen. Probably going to beat the brakes off whomever it is, probably going to be against Vanderbilt or somebody. But, I can see it happening, Kevin. Like I said, I know we've grown up with the tradition field stuff, but, hey, man, Georgia be wearing the black jerseys. They had the black jersey this year with, like, the chains around it. So it happens, man. Yeah, get used to it, Georgia fans. I'm sorry. The silver bridge is going to be there, but I think that all white is probably going to make an appearance.
No, I mean, no. In this look, there is no silver pants. It would, as I said, be 100%. Yeah, be white britches.
Listen, coming from a person
white
from in Florida that never got to wear all orange. I am jealous of the all orange, but Billy Napier said, not to make this a Florida segment. Florida's gonna.
You hijacked it again, Ben.
He said Florida's gonna wear black jerseys. People, please don't play with my emotions. I will let them.
See, you want. We're gonna continue this. That's take 3. We do it every day at this time. I want to continue this uniform talk because, Georgia's one of those programs. Hey, big on tradition. I mean, it'll look weird. They have thrown out some looks that I wasn't even a fan of. Looking at, and now, how much do you want to stick with tradition versus what's new? We'll get to that coming up next. It's 3 and Out, Southern Pigskin Radio Network. Good to have you back here, 3 and Out. Kevin Thomas, Ben Troop, thanks for making us a part of your day. Ben, we talk about the uniforms. We'll chat with Fred Owens. That's not uniform related. Fred Owens will talk Braves baseball with us coming up in about 10 minutes. But Georgia, with the all-white uniforms there, they're letting the recruits try on and put it out there. Most of the time, as you said, Ben, you don't just hand those out. It's like, this is not recruiting trick or treat, right? Like they don't hand those out and go, hey, no, these look nice. Yeah, we're never going to wear these. These are just promotional items that we're just going to. So how do you think it ends up there with Georgia? And are there programs where tradition should win out? And it's like, look, almost everybody has changed uniforms in a significant way, one way or another. I'm trying to think of a few that have, like, I don't think Alabama has. No. I'm trying to think if Southern Cal has.
No.
But even Michigan and Ohio State and Notre Dame have worn some different stuff. Georgia wearing the black helmets, disaster. I didn't like it. Black jerseys, Georgia. So if you say, hey, I like the red, but it looks like I would imagine they're going to go with an all-white look at some point, especially if you end up with an Arch Manning and you got him parading around in an all-white uniform. Like, that's going to happen.
Kevin, look,
white helmets.
Kevin, look, you know we're doing it, right? You know what we're doing right now, right? Somewhere, Daddy Thomas, Daddy Troop, they're saying, I told you they us. See, we at one point were saying, oh, man, tradition this, tradition that. Do something new. Now, man, look at them. They want to go all white. White helmets, white jerseys, white pants. What are they going to do next? Go to white cleats? Huh? Get away from the black cleats? I will say this. This is what's going to happen, though. The times, when people say times are changing, times have changed. You just don't realize it. You notice, right, the all whites and all this didn't come out to Arch Manning on campus. They had to do something to wow him, right? They had to, hey, Arch Manning's on campus, man, so let's put him on with the all white. If you are a Georgia fan, you are thinking, no, where the Silver Britches at? The Silver Britches is still there. But some teams are tradition rich. That the Tennessee fall orange, right? But then they got that gray, them gray, because the alternates used to be like the gray with whatever the team color is. That'd be the color. That'd be the number be the color of whatever your team color is. Now, Kevin, I don't know, but like Mississippi State, right? Mississippi State got that brownish looking white. Texas A&M and Mississippi State have very similar numbers, but then Mississippi State will come out with them all browns and the numbers be gold. I think Kevin, this is thing. There is no greater tradition in football as far as plain Jane jerseys than the all white Penn States. They about as plain Jane as it gets. Right? I just think that now, Kevin, what teams are doing is saying, look, we got to embrace these things. What the color combination is going to be is going to be crazy, I think. Like, I used to say that every team should have a black jersey. The only reason why I said it because I want Florida to get one. They still ain't got one. You talking about Georgia, Kevin, it's going to be different watching the red, you got the red with the silver bridges, you got the white with the silver bridges. Now you're going to have straight white. This is the funny thing, too.
With a white helmet.
With a white helmet. Like,
and people get all in their feelings about this.
You get used to seeing that red helmet with the black G on it, right? That's noticed all over. This what Georgia fans are saying. Why you got to go all white? Why you got to mess with the helmet? Why you got to? So I think that while I love tradition, and you just fall in love with it. Like, you just fall in love with the tradition jerseys. Kevin, we talk about a Georgia Tech team, right? Georgia Tech used to be, hey man, either white jersey with the gold pants, gold jersey with the white pants, then they come with the all blue. Right? And people say, but this is the thing, they won't just do the all blue. It'd be all blue. Helmet, jersey, cleats. And I think that's the thing. It's almost like people saying, dude, like, we go dramatic. Yeah, it's dramatic. It's not subtle. I remember when Notre Dame got the alternate, sometimes they wear that alternate green. They got that green. And fans lose their mind when they do that, right? Depending on if they win the game or not. So I just think that while I embrace the tradition of it, Kevin, we are in a world of sensationalized everything. How can we make the biggest wow? Did you see that? In a winning games ain't enough. Winning national championships ain't enough. The brands ain't enough. It's almost like, hey man, we got the self-driving car on this campus. What? Oh yeah, man, we don't even got steering wheels. No, I do think though, Kevin, though, this is the thing. Take a good look though when you see it. It ain't gonna be something that happen every year. So get your cameras ready when you do see it. But I just think that it's embracing the fact that when it comes to these young people.
I'm old school. I like the tradition. I like knowing, hey, if I'm watching Auburn play, that's what I'm looking at. Look, I get everybody's got a different one, but there's just
do you like the Auburn blue jersey or do you like the white? It's just the standard because Auburn wears
all
white.
All white does look pretty nice.
But
blue and the blue with the white looks. I like Auburn's look. I think Alabama's got that classic look.
Yep.
I get why some programs have to do it. Hey, you're not necessarily steeped in it, but there is a certain like Texas to me. That's a look.
That burnt orange.
You know what I'm saying? But like that's but if I saw Texas walk out there with a burnt orange helmet and a white Texas Longhorn on it, and I go, something doesn't look right. Like, why are you doing this? So there's just certain like Michigan came back. Now again, Michigan came out under the guise of throwbacks, where they had like the M on the chest and it looking like 1930s. I get that, but I've yet to see Michigan come out and say, "Hey, we're gonna wear maize tops with blue pants, and we're just gonna mix it up and go back." Yeah. Like, no, don't do it.
Keep it simple.
No, I can deal more with the throwback if you can show me, hey, this was something we wore a long time ago. We're gonna bring back versus, hey, we're just I no disrespect. I don't versus, hey, we're Florida. We're gonna wear black jerseys. Why?
Yeah.
Why?
You're right. You don't appreciate. It's almost like this.
I like the tradition of
it. It's the identifiers. It's almost like you start saying, hey man, who has the best color on color jersey? Probably North Carolina. Just the baby blue top and bottom.
Yeah.
But they also got a color. Oh, that's people call it Carolina blue across the nation. That's Carolina blue. Right. The burnt orange Texas with the white helmet, the burnt orange with that's just what they do. But like you said, if Texas comes out and they got a black helmet with the burnt orange, and people gonna be like,
what is this?
Like LSU.
That's all I'm saying.
LSU standard white jersey with the gold pants.
Fine with that.
Now, when they try to do hey man, we're gonna do that dark, that gold. The people say
the gold helmets, it look weird.
Is that LSU or is that UW? So I do think that tradition you don't appreciate until people try to start getting away from
start changing stuff. I think the all white Georgia would look interesting, but again, I wouldn't do it too much. Don't do it too much.
Oh yeah.
Then you get into Oregon territory. It's like every week it doesn't even look the same.
It's gonna be like Alabama coming to play at Georgia. You'll see it every 10 years. And then after that, it ain't happening.
We'll come back. Hey, we're going to switch gears. We're talking some Braves baseball. Fred Owen's going to join us from Tomahawk Tape. Next, it's 3 and Out on the Southern Pigskin Radio Network. Good to have you back here on this Monday. Kevin Thomas, Ben Troop here on 3 and Out. Braves, dare I call it a winning streak? They swept the Rockies, got the last one against Arizona, won 5 in a row. And joining us here from Tomahawk Take, talks some Braves baseball with us, Fred Owens joins us. Fred, welcome. How are you?
I'm really well. I'm trying to stay cool out here in Texas, but I'm doing pretty well. How's everybody back east?
Hey, we are doing fantastic. Finally it took us almost half a season, but got that winning streak going. And is this a sign of good things to come, that they were able to string together 4 or 5 days of good baseball in a row, that they've now won consistently the last couple of nights in extra innings and seem to kind of be rounding into shape here?
Well, I think a lot of it had to do with Snicker putting a size 9 Brogan up their tail after they played so badly in Arizona. Since he did that, they've been a lot better team. Now, they've got the Pirates and Oakland coming up, the Marlins and the Cubs and Nats. They should be able to string together a nice long run here. Last time, curious fact, the Braves went into the 1st of June without a 3-game winning streak was 2001, and they broke that one on June the 3rd, and they went on to win the National League East. So I'm hoping for a repeat this year.
Fred, Michael Harris, and you look at what Ronald Acuna Jr. is bringing to this Braves outfield. How dangerous can this outfield get, especially with a guy like Michael Harris that since he's been called up, he's making these sensational catches seeming like game in and game out?
Yeah, Harris and Acuna in the outfield, nothing drops in center and right. And if you push Duvall over to left, the outfield is really, really strong. Somebody should burn Ozuna's glove and never let him play left field again. I know that's not going to happen simply because people are going to get injured and Ronald's going to need days off and things like that. But that outfield's pretty good. If I could guarantee Duvall to keep hitting, I'd be up for that. But I think Ronald's coming back into it. He had those little tweaks, and he was, he strung together those 3 singles in a row, and it just looked like he was looking for a stroke. And then he got that one yesterday and hit it 430 odd feet, and I think he's back. I don't think pitchers are going to want to face him much anymore. And Dansby hitting second appears to be working this year. Olson's, despite everybody's, oh my God, he isn't Freddie, he's hitting as well as Freddie, and he's playing defense nearly as well. He's made a couple of mistakes, but then everybody does that. I just think the lineup's really good. I wish Ozuna would hit, but I think the outfield with Harris and Acuna and Duvall in it is really, really good. I'd like to get Contreras a bat every day, but I don't think that's going to happen, so we'll live with it.
Fred Owens joining us here on 3 and Out. And Fred, you mentioned Michael Harris. He was a young man that a lot of people raved about. Hey, maybe he needs another year. Hadn't played a lot above A ball prior to this year, and here he is. It's June, and he gets the call up. Is this a young man on again? He's played a week. I don't want to get ahead of ourselves, but is he the type of prospect that now that he's here, he's probably not going back down, and they're going to let him figure it out where he's at?
Well, here's the thing. I believe that if Duvall had been hitting and everybody had been playing well, you wouldn't have seen Harris come up. The fact was that Harris couldn't hit any worse than Duvall. Waters has been injured. He's still striking out like 30% of the time. So bringing Harris up was more of let's put the guy in center field who's going to catch the ball and move Duvall to left so he can catch the ball, and then hope that between the two of them, one of them starts hitting again. I don't know that he's not going to do the Andrew Jones thing. I come up and be a superstar immediately, but he certainly has the speed and the defensive chops to play center field. And it would be nice if he'd hit 250 this year. I don't really expect that. But, he could fool me, but I just think he's going to need some time to get into this. He's still hitting only mistakes, and he's missing some good pitches. And I just think that learning at the major league level is the hardest thing in the world to do. And I just hope he comes up and he just does what the older guys have been telling him to do. Just keep doing what you're doing, and it'll come to you eventually, and quit pressing because pressing, as we've seen with Duvall, just doesn't work.
I mean, Fred, earlier you mentioned how Snit had to, kind of like get these guys going. You see what they was able to do like over the weekend with the Rockies. What is it going to take for them to keep this sustained success? And me and Kevin are always talking about, could they get 3 wins in a row? And obviously they got 5 in a row, counting what they did with Arizona. What is it going to take for them to have sustained success, especially with a very, very favorable schedule these next couple of weeks?
Well, they've got to continue to get on base. Look, this lineup has been feast and famine all year long. Our run differential didn't look too bad because we were having these blowout games, and then we'd lose a lot of one-run games. As long as the lineup is hitting, consistently getting on base, this team's going to score runs. That's what we did last year. The people got on base in front of the big guns, and they started to score more runs after we got the 2 guys in at the break. So that's the key to winning this is give these starting pitchers breathing room. Don't make them have to throw a perfect game or win by 1 run every time out because the pitching will come around. I'm sort of worried about the back of the bullpen a little bit. Kenley's been a little shaky, and I wouldn't let Smith pitch after the 6th inning, 7th inning again. But I just think that'll come around too. But the biggest thing is we have to get Ozzie going. Ozzie's the heartbeat of this. He needs to be on base a lot because when he's hitting way down the lineup and he's not on base a lot, his speed is sort of, nobody cares. I know Swanson's doing well in the 2nd spot, but I'd like to see Ozzie on base a lot more with Acuna and Olsen and Riley coming up. And I think that's going to be the important thing is getting good pitches to hit and not swinging at all the junk that they've been swinging at.
Fred Owens, Tomahawk Take, joining us here on 3 and Out. Fred, you mentioned the pitching staff. Starting rotation-wise, obviously this is a Braves team that's looking post-All-Star break at a return potentially of Mike Soroka. But if you look at what they're running out there right now, with Spencer Strider now in that 5 spot, does this have a chance maybe come mid-September, late September to be one of the top 2 or 3 rotations in all of baseball if they can get it together?
Well, as it stands right now, the problem is we've got Strider in the 5th spot, and he's not going to do 150 innings down there. He's not stretched out for that. And then when you get beyond Strider for that, you have to be able to guarantee that Charlie's going to get in his group. Charlie Morton's going to get his group back. I'm really sure about Max. I'm really sure about Anderson being who he is. When you get past that, Morton's groove has been rough this year, and I'm not sure whether it's that landing leg or whether it's just him being a year older or it's the seams being a little bit different on the ball this year or what it is. But Charlie's not looked like Charlie. He knows it. He said it. If he gets back in the shot, then we're probably a top 5 or 6 rotation in the game. But again, Soroka coming back, you can't expect him to do more than 3 or 4 innings when he gets back. He's not going to be stretched out to do 6 and 7 and 8 innings like we'd love him to do. And it's just going to be rough to have a team that's got DeGrom and Scherzer coming back and who currently lead us by about 8 games. Getting ahead of them and staying ahead of them is going to be hard. And all those pitchers have to stay good and not have any bad games. And that's going to be a law of tall order.
And Jeff, you just mentioned, when you think about it, 8.5 back of the Mets right now. Do the Braves got to run in them to catch these pesky Mets, even though everybody expect the Mets to Met at a certain point this season? Do the Braves got staying power to actually run down the Mets this season?
Well, a lot of this is there's a really slow start. Nobody's hitting. Hitting's down around the league all the way around it. So I kind of think our hitting's going to come in to be league and above because our big guys are going to hit again. The defense is settled up. We picked up when Michael Harris came in and Dansby's splashing gold glove out there at short. Riley's playing really well at third. The catching combo is hitting as well as anybody. It's consistency here. The consistency is the thing, and we haven't been that so far. If we're consistent, can we catch the Mets? Sure. If we're consistent, we can beat anybody in the league. The question is going to be, can we be that way? Can we avoid injuries? Can Soroka and Rosario coming back be the bump we need to push us there again? And we won't know that until July.
Fred Owens, Tomahawk Take, our guest here on 3 and Out. Fred, appreciate the time. Thanks so much.
It's always my pleasure. You guys stay safe out there.
Hey, we certainly will. Fred Owens, always a pleasure talking Braves baseball with him from Tomahawk Take, and the Braves won 5 in a row, got it to 8.5 here in the East. And as we've talked about, just chip away, Ben, chip away, and hopefully post All-Star break. I mean, again, this is All-Star breaks coming up in a little bit more than a month. To me, if you are sub 5, that's good. Sub 5 games back. So you're talking about you need to make up 3 games. Right. And I think from July through the end of the season, the Braves have like 15 games with the Mets. So you're going to get your opportunity to go head to head and try to really cut in that lead. But 8 doesn't look good. But if, again, as we said, a couple weeks ago, if you can just make up a game a week, you'll be in position to be within striking distance there at the end of the season.
I think the one thing you get about Fred, Kevin, everybody who break down the Braves, they expect the Braves to go on the road. They expect the Braves to understand that, look, we know what this is going to take. Fred come with the text too, man. When he said, listen, just burn the Sooners glove, just burn it up so he can't use it. I do think that if Duvall was hitting on a more consistent level, it would be an easy. Listen, the DH have Marcel. The problem is it ain't even Marcel. It ain't even Duvall. It's how do you when are they gonna have Acuna every day in the lineup? Because you're gonna have that DH available for him if he's not in the starting lineup. But the Braves showed 2 things, Kevin, that you said. Finally got 2 wins in extras. Cause that stuff is on your mind until you do it. All right, man, we got to get past this. And this is the thing about the Braves. They are known for the dramatic, man. Braves scored 8 runs and won 8-7. It's like, I just think that when the teams are always finding strides, the starting lineup ain't the same as obviously the bullpen. I mean, then you start talking about these batters. But I do think that at the end of the day, Braves got it done. They got to deal with the Oakland A's. They got to stick with these winning streaks. They got to win these series. They got to get these bats going. But Michael Harris, young man, keep doing what you're doing with that glove, because I'm telling you, while he is trying to get it together at the plate, which I do think is going to come around. I think that Kevin, what he does defensively, I mean, if it gets hit the center or right, oh, that's in the bag. Now, if you hit the left field, well, is Marcel out there? Well, just, hope for the best. Hope he can track the ball and nothing crazy happens. But I like what the Braves did this weekend. Builds a lot of confidence. Because like you say, Kevin, if the Braves post All-Star can be, 5 back, 4 back, that's going to make the Mets go, there they go again. What? The Braves. Like, what? While we were asleep last night, they were driving through the night, and I saw him this morning, Acuna, he was waving at me. So it is going to be a race to the finish no matter what. But I think at the end of the day, I think the Braves got that staying power.
Absolutely. We've got more to come. Here it is, 3 and Out on the Southern Pigskin Radio Network. Good to have you along here. 3 and Out, Southern Pigskin Radio Network. Kevin Thomas, Ben Troop. Glad you're making us a part of your day. A lot to get to coming up in the final hour, including big news in the National Football League. Also, big news in the world of golf. We'll get to that coming up in just a little bit. But let's go to the phones. Take your calls here on this Monday, 912-342-7184. Let's go to AC. He wants to talk Jimbo Fisher. What's up, AC?
Well, thank you so much for taking my call. I hope you guys had a nice and beautiful weekend. Let's talk about Jimbo Fisher, Jim Harbaugh, and Steve Sarkisian in their respective teams. Trust me when I say this, I'm going to give you the spoiler. These boys are not going to win a championship with their current team. Let's face it. If any one of those three teams that I mentioned, if those callers call in and react to me, give them a specifier or shut them off. That's the only way. Jimbo Fisher, you're not going to win a championship with Texas A&M unless you buy some crab legs. You know what you did at Florida State. Well, that's not going to work because ACC, that's not ACC, buddy. It's SEC, Southeastern Conference. It's too much for you. Yeah. Matter of fact, I'll give you another spoiler before I hang up. Most likely, Alabama Crimson Tide, they're going to win a championship this year because Nick Saban is motivated by your special dogs, whatever they did back in January. Because come on now, everybody knows how Nick Saban rolls. Am I correct, boys?
Hey, no. Hey, appreciate it. Yeah, we know how Nick Saban rolls. I don't think that's good. But to say Jimbo's not going to win one in the SEC, I don't know about that. I mean, was he not with Nick when they won one together at LSU?
Yes, he was. That's how he got the head coaching job over there at Florida.
Well, he got the OC job at Florida State, but then filled in. Yeah. Now, will he do Texas A&M like he did Florida State? AC, I will say no, and here's why: $70 million. He wasn't getting that kind of cheese from Florida State. I mean, like where are you going to go to get that kind of money?
I mean, didn't get that money from Florida State. Didn't call none of his players, and left the Christmas tree on the front lawn and said, "I am about this piece." Shot everybody to the deuces when he went over to the private jet.
Hey, where did Coach go? That's a great question.
Hey, Jimbo, they say had on Florida State hat, threw it out the window. You see this? Done, gone.
Yeah, no, I think Jimbo, again, once divisional play especially goes, I think he's got a better chance when you just go to the top two teams, because you could potentially even lose to an Alabama, say, and if you finish second, get a second crack at him, play for that championship. We got more to come. Some big news in the NFL, big news from the world of golf is where we're going to hit that in hour number 3. This is 3 and Out all across the Southern Pigskin Radio Network. We are streaming live, ESPNCoastal.com, also live video streaming on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Go to our YouTube page, ESPN Coastal there on YouTube. Give us a like and a subscription and a follow. Back hour number 3. Good to have you back here. Final hour of 3 and Out on this Monday. He has been Troop. I am Kevin Thomas. A lot to get to here on the show. Have some big news from the National Football League. Big news from the world of golf. We'll get to as well. We've talked about, Tom Hanks, Tom Cruise. We got into a debate with Christian earlier.
Mm-hmm.
There are no bad Tom Hanks movies. And Christian kind of disagreed with that. So I threw it out there to you guys. Give me a bad Tom Hanks movie. And when I say bad, I don't mean one that you haven't seen. I will say of the ones that I've seen, they're all good. Right? They're all, as Ben said, mostly bangers.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't say that movie's bad. Have you seen it? No. Have you seen it? No. Well, we haven't seen it. How do we know it's bad? It's Tom Hanks movie. It's probably pretty good. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. And as you said, Christian went and said, hey, Tom Hanks has made 93 movies. All I'm saying is they're not all good. And he started with movie number 93. It was like, hey, this one's not
good.
You
dig that far back?
Yeah. Because his gig was, hey, who's your favorite band? They have a whole litany of best ofs, and they got a bunch of songs that aren't good. I said, are they not good, or are they just not radio hits? There's a lot of B-sides that I've listened to from my favorite artists that I think would be great radio hits, but they weren't. It's not because they're bad. It's because they weren't popular hits. A lot of B. So I will argue Tom Hanks, no bad movies, nothing but hits. And we have yet to hear anybody with a legitimate bad one. At Pigskin Radio, hit us up on YouTube, Facebook. You can't do it.
No, Philadelphia with Denzel Washington. I mean,
you're gonna hit. I'm telling you, if you go through the Tom Hanks catalog, you're gonna roll 40 deep before you get to one that you can even question as being a bad movie, in my opinion. That's all I'm saying.
Range. Tom Hanks is one of those people, Kevin, like you said. You just expect him to make good movies. Period. Captain Phillips just came out of nowhere. Incredible movie. Obviously, he said, I'm not going to do anything as good as Forrest Gump. Obviously, very, very long movie, very, very good movie. I mean, if you think Forrest Gump is a bad movie, you shouldn't be allowed to watch movies. You just shouldn't be allowed to watch them. But
I'm with you.
Tom Hanks, Leonardo DiCaprio, catch me if you can. What he got? What I think it's like Angels and Demons. He got
the Da Vinci Code.
The Da Vinci Code. A League of Their Own.
Just keep going. There isn't one.
Saving Private Ryan, Turner and Hooch,
Big.
And the thing is, like I said, they said, what could you do with a volleyball? Yeah. I can get the whole world to root for the volleyball. Get the whole world to do it. That's range, people. And like I said,
when the volleyball floats away, you cry with me.
The man pulled his own tooth with the ice skate. He was like, boom, like, oh man. Look, Tom Hanks, you the man.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, at the end. Oh yeah, he said with like
a little self dentistry.
He was like, boom, and he was like this. Hey man, I had to be my own dentist out there. He got it out of there though.
I forgot about that. I forgot about that. We got you juxtapose that again. Sorry, we're going down this rabbit hole. You juxtapose that with like a Sylvester Stallone, because I told you guys that, hey, I watched the 2008 Rambo movie, and like Sylvester Stallone said like 10 sentences in the whole movie.
Mm-hmm.
He said, hey, those are the river pirates. Stay down, don't talk. He didn't say anything else the rest of the movie.
Don't talk.
You know what I'm talking? It's like all he did was line up with bows and arrows. Like, first of all, he's got like ballistic bow and arrow. Like, where did he get that? He hits the 50 cal. He goes up, the night mission to free the missionaries from their cages, and does his thing. Literally, the dialogue for Sly Stallone in that movie was like 10 sentences.
And the fact
that's not great acting. He's just blowing stuff up.
Yeah, and the fact that he's the one that's part of writing the script, saying, "Look, I'm not gonna have
he just mean mugged the whole movie,
and we're gonna pay y'all to come over here to rescue him, and y'all gonna listen to me.
Yeah,
it's gonna be my strategy."
90% of the movie was just Sylvester Stallone mean mugging the kid.
And he was speaking the other languages in the other parts, like he was speaking to the natives.
That's true. That's true.
Hey man, at the end of the day,
he doesn't hold a candle to Tom.
Certain people stay in their lanes, and Sylvester Stallone said, "If I didn't write it, I don't want to do it." What do you mean? Not doing it?
He will not be confused with Tom Hanks. That's all I'm saying.
Rocky, Rambo. That's 35 movies right there. That's two different. I mean, and then he goes from, Michael B. Jordan jumped on the scene with what? Creed. I'm just saying.
And just say the same thing. Yeah.
Ivan Drago, he's a universal soldier. No one cares. He's known for, for Rocky IV. Mr. T. Clubber Lang. Carl Weathers. Rocky 1 and Rocky 2. He played the three movies that I can remember. He played in obviously played in Rambo. He played in Rocky. He played in Predator. And what's the movie he had on the blue shirt? He had on the red shirt.
I don't know. Obviously, point being, we're not going to mistake those guys for Tom Hanks. That's all I'm saying. And I like those movies, but they don't. The acting range for Sylvester Stallone's not there.
Carl Weathers was also in.
You made a movie where you barely spoke. It's. Meanwhile, Tom's interacting with a volleyball. That's all I'm saying. In Rambo, Sylvester Stallone was the volleyball.
Jackson, that's the name.
Yeah. All right. That being said, I'll stop with the Tom Hanks today. But if you know a bad Tom Hanks movie, because there isn't one, let us know at Pigskin Radio. All right. Breaking news out of the NFL. Aaron Donald just got broke off. Been in a big, big way. 2-year, $60 million extension for the defensive tackle. And you did correct me. I said, that is a lot of money for a defensive tackle. You said, you better watch yourself, Kevin. That is the best defensive player in the league. But $60 million over 2 years, Ben, I also would be at peace if I was Aaron Donald for 2 years, $60 million.
There are seldom times in sports that you get to say that a team did right by a player. Obviously, Aaron Donald's going to be a lifer. He's going to be an LA Ram lifer. And the thing about it is, Kevin, I think he's been in the league 8 years. I think he's been a first-team All-Pro 7 of those years. And I think the thing about him is he's the baddest man in football. He's the guy that said, "Look, man, I'm gonna give you all I got." And he said, if I didn't get the money that if they can't restructure a deal, I'm gone. I think it's $95 million over the extension of the life of the contract. He's got 2 years. He's gonna make $60 million. He's going to go out there and terrorize. They finna run it back, for one more year. They're already on cheat code with everything that they got, out there. Bobby Wagner from L.A. playing for the Rams. Oh, you still got a guy like Jalen Ramsey. Oh, you still got Cooper Kupp, right? You still got, Sony Michel. You still got Matthew Stafford. And now you got Aaron Donald, 99. And, hey, congratulations to him. Hashtag pay that man. Hashtag, he got paid. Hashtag running back. Hashtag, I won. Give me my money. You what? I won. So I'm happy for Aaron Donald. I think when you think about a guy who, since he came into the league, has dominated. That is not a word you're going to hear me say all the time. He is a beast. He is a gremlin. He is a creature. He is whatever you want. He is Freddy Krueger with 99 on his chest and back, with Aaron Donald on his back. With Donald on his back. Shout out to Aaron Donald. 2 years. While people crying about 2 years, $60 million. Give me my cheese. If you are in the that vaunted NFC West, you got to deal with him again. And if you are the Rams, you are loving that he is back. Pay me my cheese. Wow. That's, hey, man. Shout out to Sean McVay, man. Sean McVay, a.k.a. we don't care about the draft. We care about veterans. And Bobby Wagner, he got added this offseason. You talking about, so it's gonna be Bobby Wagner, Ernest Jones.
Oh yeah. You talk about positional value, but and again, this is when you talk about the kind of money he is getting, and I believe this is on a per year basis, but he is the highest paid non-quarterback in the history of the whole league.
That's what he should be.
As a defensive tackle. And again, he's not a left tackle.
Nope.
He's not a defensive end. I know he gets back there and can rush the quarterback. But he is not one of those positions of extreme need where you say, we're going to overpay. And I know you think they probably didn't overpay at $30 million over 2 to give you $60 million. Defensive tackle, highest paid non-quarterback ever in history of the league. That's incredible to me.
The last play of the NFC Championship game, Jimmy Garoppolo almost got sacked by who? Aaron Donald. Right? Aaron Donald's having a subpar game in the Super Bowl. he hits Joe Burrow kind of like before he ran out of bounds. And the offensive line, the non-blocking offensive line of the Cincinnati Bengals started pushing and shoving with 99. I said, now you just woke him up. The last two plays of the Super Bowl went like this. It is 3rd and 1, not 2, 3rd and 1. The guard, who weighs 300-something pounds, is on Aaron Donald's left arm, and he's holding him. The 240-pound back, he grabs him at right there at the line of scrimmage and pushes him back. So I got a grown man on this arm. I got a grown man on that arm. It is 4th down. 4th down, what happened? He almost sacked Joe Burrow. I'm telling you, there are certain guys that just built for the moment. They built for the lights. I think Aaron Donald is both. Never seen nothing like him. And I played in the time of Warren Sapp and Richard Seymour, and so on and so forth. John Henderson and Albert Hainsworth. So I've seen some of them do it. None of those boys had 20 sacks in the season. 20. Aaron Donald did. I think he's back-to-back defensive player of the year. Now he back-to-back cheese. Give me my money. I'm trying to tell you, Donald Bank and Trust is open for business. Get that man his money. Congratulations to him. Sometimes they're just doing right by him. I'm happy for him.
Hey, highest paid non-quarterback in NFL history. Aaron Donald, defensive tackle, Rams, and as Ben said, cheat code. Like doing things like that, you don't see guys do.
Nope.
You put one 300-pound guy in front of me, and I'll even give myself to say I weigh 300 pounds, and I can try to find. I can do that with one guy, maybe a second guy. And as you said, I'm out there making one-arm tackles in the Super Bowl to keep the game in check. Unbelievable. And again, getting paid in a big way. As Ben likes to say, you just let us hold a little bit of that for a hot minute.
AKA let us hold something.
Yeah, for a hot minute. And I think we'll be all right. Ben and I also will be at peace at that moment. That moment with your decision. So that being said, hey, we got more to get to. Big news coming out of the world of golf. We'll get to that when we return. It's 3 and Out, Southern Pigskin Radio Network. Good to have you back here on 3 and Out. Kevin Thomas and Ben Troop. And always good to keep me up on the latest. Apparently, there was a lady playing the national anthem on a saw.
Sounds good, right?
At the at the Oakland A's game, and the A's will be playing the Braves starting tomorrow. So I wonder if she's going to travel with, and we can get a repeat performance. The national anthem, it was on like a logging saw. Like the thing was huge. How do you find stuff like that first and foremost?
I mean,
you go searching out for like
go viral. Somebody like, listen, man.
I know, but you find stuff that like you have showed me something like, where did you find this? And it's not even like quite viral yet. And you're like, oh, it just popped up.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lady. You want a lady playing a saw today? Cats playing poker? We got it.
I mean,
it was amazing.
If you are involved with the with that department, you saying we need somebody to play that anthem now. Tell them.
Can you sing? No.
We got a lady that can play it on the saw.
But I can't.
What do you mean on the saw? Like she can play on the saw.
Like
can she be here tomorrow? Yeah. Can you be here tomorrow? Yeah.
How does it sound? Doesn't matter.
For the playing of the national anthem, Miss Susan, Cartwright.
Yeah.
Will be playing on her saw, known as Sally. Take it away. Who knows? Like, hey, at the end of the day, America's Got Talent is more than just a show, Kevin. I mean, people can do some talented things. I mean,
I wonder if she had like a bow or something like from a fiddle, but I wonder if she could like actually play it while cutting wood with it.
when I was with the Oakland Raiders and I used to go to San Francisco, which is right over the Bay Bridge, there was a guy in the city that had a dog. On top of the dog sat a cat. On top of the cat sat a rat, and they would just sit there. And I'm like, yeah, seriously.
And you have to pay. You have to pay to see this.
No, they just sitting there, and I'm like, and then obviously the guy looked at me and goes, "Are you gonna give us any money? Give us some money? Yeah. What you think?
There's 4 mouths to feed here.
Yeah. We're just sitting here. Yeah. I mean,
so what was the trick? Just the fact they were sitting there?
I mean, they just sitting there. I mean, there was a guy in San Francisco that he plays instrument. He can make music out of anything. He'll make music out of he'll take like the chord. He'll take a cord or something that's on a freaking the thing you pull on a freaking lawnmower. He'll take a weedy to make music with it. People got some weird. I said, look, man, just get you some drums like anybody else though. And you see the people with the drums, they be beating on the buckets and stuff or what may have you. But I mean, the saw playing anthem player, that's hey. I mean, Kevin, when I show you, look, you like, see? I mean, hey, at the end of the day, man, with so many people in the world, hey man, where the wood at? Man, she's supposed to be cutting. Oh,
she's too big.
She's back there playing. She's back there playing America the Beautiful. What? Yeah, man.
I just was like, hey, but I mean, it's like one thing to say, hey, I can do it. It's other things like, hey, I'm going to play it. Well, it is the Oakland A's, so she probably played it in front of about 1,000 people, but still, as you said, America's Got Talent, sawing away at the national anthem.
I mean,
at the end of the day, whatever.
Just to have to even announce it, ladies and gentlemen, stand to your feet
with her saw.
Saying, the playing of the national anthem, take it away, and she's just going with it. She's the Oakland A's. Whoa, she had on the Oakland A's. So Kevin, do the Braves fly her out and say, hey,
why not?
Hey man, at the end of the day, you think you seen it all, but you haven't. There's a man out there in San Francisco. You got a dog.
Next up, we're gonna get somebody playing it on a spoons.
Yeah. Listen, they got all the water out there. They feel different colors.
Oh no, I'm talking about like the spoon that you slap off your knees.
I was just saying.
I think or as you said, you get the guys out there with the water just blowing on the jet.
I mean, people can do anything.
So that would be good. Now that would be amazing. Let's make it happen, Braves. Water jug national anthem before the Braves play the A's coming up this week.
Are you going to finish that water? No.
No, you just turn it to a B flat. Stop.
Take it away, fella.
Can you imagine? You have the water jugs leveled out just right to make the note as somebody comes by and takes a sip.
Oh yeah, no.
That was supposed to be an A. Now you just made it
A B minor.
it went back, yeah.
minor.
It was a B flat. Yeah.
A B flat. No, look, when
Now
I
we
saw
can't play it.
I will say this.
We're gonna have to.
When people ask why am I on social media, I'm looking for the weird stuff. I really am. I'm looking for the delivery drivers that can't deliver stuff because his dog's on the front porch. You know, I'm looking for, you know, ladies opening up their car doors and they're looking there and it's a bear in there. And she goes, ah! She goes for the bear. You know, I'm looking for showing Kevin and the guy walks up to the fence and the dog is eating the fence.
That was amazing. You want to see if Kevin can run a 4.3 40? Put me next to the fence with that dog. It will happen. Yeah, Biv is like, there's a dog barking at a fence, a wood fence, and the guy goes, "Hey, little buddy," and the dog goes, "Ah," and starts eating the planks off the fence. I'm gone. I'm out of there. That's all. What were we talking about? I don't even know.
Listen, we was gonna talk about something, and I showed you the clip.
Yeah.
It's
a Monday, and I got distracted by
some of
Saws.
the most interesting times happen in between the break.
It really does.
You never ever know.
Oh, that's what I was going to talk about.
It's a double fudge Monday.
Yes, I was going to talk about Phil Mickelson.
Yep.
Officially coming out about an hour and a half ago and saying, "I'm playing on the LIV tour, which is the Saudi tour." And you go, "Well, what's the big deal?" A lot of people, Dustin Johnson jumping over there to it. And again, the reported backlash to this, Ben, is that the PGA Tour will say, "Well, you can't play with us." Right? And I saw Kevin Na say, "Look, I have resigned from the PGA Tour." And he's going to play in this thing. And again, the big deal is, Ben, Phil was going to work with the Saudi tour once before. And people called him out for it and said, "Hey, you know they do some shady stuff." And he goes, "Well, yeah, they do, but, you know, this is a business deal." And people are like, whoa, whoa, whoa. And so Phil had to quit, lost all his sponsors, couldn't play in the Masters. And here we are, June 6th, and he's back playing again. And you get the guaranteed money is what the, you know, end all be all is. Dustin Johnson saying, "Look, you give me $100 million. I don't even have to win. I don't even have to play well. I just have to be there and play. Done. Don't need sponsors." We talked to Rich Toss about it. Don't need sponsors. You're giving me the money now, right? Why do golfers get sponsors? Because when I fly from, I don't know, let's say I fly from Jacksonville out to Hawaii to play, I foot the bill for that, right? If I get the sponsor money, hey, I can pay for some of that. And if I don't make the cut, I get $0. Now you go to Britain this week. Jeez. "Hey, Dustin, you didn't play very well." That's okay. They gave me $100 grand. Okay. or
$100 million.
Well, $100 million to play for the whole thing. So what, 10%? Oh, they gave me $10 million. I'm good. I don't care that I didn't play well.
Phil is saying, we knew that.
So I don't know what Phil's getting.
Phil was saying this. Phil was saying, look.
But reportedly, Tiger turned down a big money. Yeah.
They're going to probably give him some big cheese to come over there. Phil's going to do, he's like, "Listen, I'm playing all the majors." And he goes, "Look, at a certain point, I'm going to have to deal with the scrutiny that comes back when I'm back. But how much they going to give me?"
Yeah, I haven't seen what they're going to give him, but I guarantee you it's a lot of money. Here's the thing. And again, people, will he play on the PGA Tour? No, apparently not, because the PGA has been kind of staunch about, "Hey, you go play for these guys. You're not playing out here." But here's the thing. Outside of the PGA Championship, and I don't know how Phil's going to get in that. Maybe as a former winner, and they may figure out a way to not let him do that. But the PGA Tour does not control Augusta National. Mm-hmm. The PGA Tour does not control the Royal and Ancient, which puts on the British Open, or the Open Championship, as they like to call. And they don't control the USGA, who puts on the US Open. So technically, all these guys could come back and play a major. I think Dustin Johnson even said kind of the same thing, where he's like, "Look, I'm going to play over here. I'm going to make my $100 million, and I'll still show up and play at Augusta if they'll have me." So to me, that's the interesting part. What is the backlash here? Is this a temporary backlash of right now you're not going to play, to, well, they've already done it?
The PGA, they're going to have to do something, right, Kevin? Because, like, okay, right now.
Because you were trying to send a message to Phil. The fans are trying to send a message to Phil, and you're going to say, "Hey, you're going to lose sponsors. You're going to, what do they call it, shadow ban him," where it's like, "Hey, wink, wink, Phil, probably not a good idea if you come play this week. It would be better if you just didn't show up. Probably go better for you if you didn't show up." To, you pushed him right back to where you didn't want him to be in the first place, and he's going to play on that LIV tour. And again, if Dustin Johnson got $100 million, I mean, as a former major champion, one of the top guys out there in professional golf, even though he's, 51, Ben? If Dustin Johnson got $100 million, deductive reasoning, and if they offered Tiger 9 figures reportedly, I mean, what's Phil going to get? $200 million? I mean, just to be out there and be a face, right? I mean, that's basically what you're being paid to do. There's only 50 guys, 48 guys on this thing. Are you trying to look up and see if somebody posted how much
this is coming from Brentley Romine, a staff writer, Golf Channel. Phil Mickelson officially listed in the field of the LIV Golf Opener in London. Hearing from a source that Mickelson signed a contract Saturday night worth $200 million.
So $200 million. And again, $200 million. He doesn't have to win. He doesn't have to play well.
So basically, what Phil is saying, if just like Dustin Johnson, I mean, if I can't play in the majors for the next year, I'm gonna make. I don't know how long it take them. If that's more money that Phil made on tour, because Tiger didn't make but 100. No,
this is from actually on tour golf.
On tour, I'm not talking sponsors. $200 million just to show up. Wow,
to play,
man.
I think they play right now 8, 9 tournaments. No, I don't know if this is a multi-year deal, but still, $200 million, and you don't have. And again, that's the impetus. Like, you do not have to play well. You are there to be there. Guaranteed money has been. You have talked about. I don't care if you're talking about baseball, basketball, NFL. You said what speaks louder in pro sports than anything else. How much money are you going to give me? And on the PGA Tour, you got to go out and make the cut. Where you finish determines how much you get. On the LIV Tour, Phil, we want you to show up, and we're willing to give you $200 million to make sure you do. The end. And again, you can have your qualms with the Saudis and how they do things and their records on doing things, and I understand that. But when you're talking about these athletes and why they would do it, somebody said, I will guarantee you more money than you made playing golf to just come and show up and play. I mean that's the NLB. So that was some big news about an hour and a half ago. Phil Mickelson doing it, and as you said, a source saying it's $200 million.
So they're giving two guys $300 million to show up.
Yeah, that is. And again, that's not $200 million, $100 million to play in one. I mean, they're going to get it over the course of playing multiple events on this tour, but. Because I know people say, $200 million, they're going to throw away PGA Tour stuff to play in one event. I mean, if it was one event, that would be even more ridiculous. $200 million, but yeah, they're taking the guaranteed money and they are running. And then I think the PGA Tour, this is me, has some soul searching to do on some of this, because again, you can have the qualms about what happens with the Saudi government and the things that happen over there. But when you're talking about golfers at the end of the day, and people will justify however they want to say, they are paying me to play golf. I don't agree with what they are doing, but they are paying me to show up a lot of money and play golf. And I think what kept most of the PGA Tour guys over there was the public pressure, what happened to Phil. They didn't want to have happen to them, the backlash. And now you've seen Phil go right back, apparently get paid big dollars. Dustin Johnson go back, get paid big dollars, and some other guys. I mean, how are you going to keep some of these guys if this thing gets successful through the first year and they go to more of your guys and go, how much you make last year on the PGA Tour? I made $10 million. We'll give you 50 right now. Come on. I don't have to win.
I mean, it's going to be hard. And look, and I think you make the greatest point when people say, oh man, with everything's going on, let me help you understand something, right? I'm pretty sure, I don't know, I don't know Phil, they do not agree with what the Saudis do to their citizens. This is about the tournament, and the thing about the PGA is they're making all these threats. They're gonna have to put something on paper or something concrete. But at the end of the day, you think what $100 million, $200 million? People say, well, Tiger didn't go. Tiger ain't hurting for no cheese. And don't you think they can find a way? They can find a way to make that money up for a guy like that. But I'm just saying,
but there is a point where if they say, I mean, reportedly 9 figures, right? So
if they gave Phil 200.
So yeah, they gave Phil 200, and Tiger probably can't play. They'd probably say, Tiger, we'll give you 3 just to be around. We don't need you to play. I mean, at some point, people will go, I mean, this is, even for a guy like Tiger Woods, multi-generational money. to lock up your family, your kids, their kids. I mean, and I think that is what it comes down to at the end of the day. I'm interested to see how this continues to go because, again, the whole reason I thought it was kind of falling apart is because of the backlash Phil got. And I think there was a lot of pressure for him. Hey, don't do that. You're a PGA Tour guy. And where is he now? Pushed him right back over there through the kind of shadow banning of sending him right back to the LIV Tour. And he's making more money than he'll probably have ever made on the PGA Tour. Very interesting. We'll talk more about this tomorrow with Rich Stiles, as we do every Tuesday. But that's some late breaking news. Very, very interesting stuff. We got more to come here. Hall of Fame, a ballot announced. Some guys out there on the first time, some big timers. It's 3 and Out, Southern Pigskin Radio Network. Good to have you back here on this Monday. Kevin Thomas, Ben Troop, glad you are with us. College Football Hall of Fame ballot is out, Ben. Ray Lewis, Tim Tebow, they're on it for the first time. Just a list of just straight up college football all-timers on this thing that have added to the list of Sebastian Janikowski still on there. A number of guys who are looking to get in to the College Football Hall of Fame. And you and I were talking, look, the criteria must be on a recognized first-team All-America list in order to get in. So there's a number of guys who are great players, and you and I talked about this. College Football Hall of Fame. You're D1, you cover FCS, you cover Division II, you cover Division III. That's a number of schools. I believe there's 130. Well, I know there's 130 FBS programs, Ben. There's like 120 FCS programs that play at that level. And I want to say there's something along the lines of about 115 that play Division II. So you have to be one of 22 guys in over, 130 programs in one season in order to get recognition. No, I think you need to look at the model and say, look, how can we still be the Hall of the Elite college football players and not necessarily water it down and just take anybody? But when you look at guys and say, who was it? Todd Gurley, top 5 running back in the SEC all time in terms of yards. Can't get in. At least as the rules are currently written. And you say, well, why not? He was never first team All-American. Probably one of the best 2-3 running backs in all of college football during his time. Never first team All-American. How's that? So you look at guys like that and say, how do you get in? But man, you look at the guys that are eligible. Ray Lewis, Tim Tebow. I think Mark Richt is in as one of the coaches. Paul Johnson on the list as one of the coaches, talking about his time there, at Georgia Southern and what he was able to do. But to me, you got to look at some of that. I think Irk Russell, not in the College Football Hall of Fame, and that's a tragedy. Started a program from scratch, beautiful Eagle Creek. Mm-hmm. You had a creek and a football. And I guess if you want to dramatize it, you had a creek, a football, and a dream. And you turn it into a program that won 6 national championships, not all under him, but you started that program and turned it almost immediately into a winner. And you were a assistant coach at the University of Georgia, when they were junkyard dog defense, legendary guy, not in the College Football Hall of Fame. How's that possible? How you just look at it, how is that possible? Howard Schnellenberger, how is that possible? Mm-hmm. Starting programs, building them into championship contenders.
A certain winning percentage, and all.
Yeah, I think you have to have a certain winning percentage. Have to have coached in a certain number of games. Like, come on, man, you can, as you said, Hall of Fame. Can you tell the story? Yeah. Are there guys that are instrumental to the fabric of college football that don't meet some of the criteria? Absolutely. Now, again, I'm not advocating for those guys and saying, oh, well, because they should get in, that means you have to let in everybody who was run. But you're talking about a guy that the SEC has been around a long time. He's top 5 rusher all time. Correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't Todd Gurley and Nick Chubb, weren't they when they were there? Weren't they both in the top 5 all time running backs? It was like Herschel Walker, Todd Gurley, Bo Jackson, Nick Chubb. Like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about when it comes to the College Football Hall of Fame? But no, because they weren't on the 22-man list of first-team All-American, they're not going to get consideration. I just think that's wrong. I think you got to look at it and say, look, yes, you are, on one hand, sell me on, you are the elite of the elite, because there's only 22 guys, maybe more if you go on a second list, but there's going to be some crossover, obviously. There's only 22 guys can be a first-team All-American. And I think there's only two lists that they actually consider to be like the All-American. It's not like, oh, you were first-team All-American by ESPN.com. Like, I think it was, Football Writers Association put out, like, there's a couple of lists that you have to be on if you want to be this thing. Be in the College Football Hall of Fame. I think you got to look at it and say, look, when we're talking about the fabric of college football, I'm not saying you put every great player from every team in, but you're talking about 22 guys out of 130 programs. Each and every year can be a Division I first-team All-American. I just think you got to look at it and say, look, in the spectrum of great players who have had great careers, you could talk to me about compiling, but if you're going to look at guys and say, hey, he was never first-team All-American, but he these guys were the second and fourth, like all-time leading rushers in a league like the SEC. Come on, that has to mean something. Was Philip Rivers a first-team All-American? I don't know if he was. I'm trying to think because he played in the era of Joe Hamilton and some guys like that. But Philip Rivers, I think he's the all-time leading passer in the ACC by a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's not close. And if he was not, are you looking that up? I don't know what you're doing. I'm
looking at some of the.
But there are guys on there. But I'm saying I think you look at that criteria and say, man, you got to expand it out a little bit. Go ahead, Ben. I'm sorry.
No. What I will say this once again. The College Football Hall of Fame criteria is crazy. I mean, Kevin, they're going way back. I mean, this ain't way. I mean, Eric Berry, Tennessee, Justin Blackman, Oklahoma State, right? Reggie Bush, Rocky Kalmus, Oklahoma.
And they all have first-team All-American status and all that. Yeah.
I mean, and I think what Dallas Clark, Tim Couch, Brad Culpepper, Ken Dorsey. It's Ward Dunn, Dwight Freeney, Robert Gallery, and some Tony Gonzalez, Kevin Hardy, Marvin Harrison, Josh Heupel. Coach Heupel, he's on this thing. Steve Hutchinson, Brady James, LaMichael James, Sebastian Janikowski, Derek Johnson, Levon Kirkland, Luke Kuechly, James Laurinaitis, Ryan Leaf, Ray Lewis, Marshawn Lynch, Terrence Mathis, Bryant McKinney, Heath Miller. It's going to be a lot of people not get in, not because they weren't Hall of Fame worthy, man. It's like you're only going to get so many votes. Kellen Moore, a guy that was well ahead of his time at Boise State. Ken Norton Jr., Julius freaking Peppers.
Yeah, on the list. You had some big timers.
Antoine Randall at Indiana, Eric Redd, Simeon Rice, Ron Rivera. Chris Samuels. It's like the college football. It's like the college football Hall of Fame selection committee. You're trying to do all these. If a guy was good enough, put him in.
Yeah.
Why you got to have a set number of guys and all these different things?
I did check up Philip Rivers. 51 straight games started, 13,000 passing yards in 4 years at NC State, 95 touchdowns. That's 8th all time, 13th all time in career passing yards. That was I know he's the ACC leader in passing yards for his career. Like, can't get in. Why? Never first team All-American. He was the ACC Athlete of the Year, Player of the Year, Offensive Player of the Year, Rookie of the Year, first team All-ACC. But he will not be in the College Football Hall of Fame list because he was not a first-team All-American. You got to look at that and say he holds the passing record for an entire league, one of the Power 5 leagues, and can't get in because of some of that. To me, I find that just to be a little bit ridiculous.
It's gonna be egregious. The College Football Hall of Fame is always going to be. It's always about who didn't get in. I remember D'Angelo Williams when he was at Memphis. Peter Ward, who's still not in, 2-time first team All-American. Troy Vincent. Kevin Smith, Justin Smith out of Mizzou, Alex Smith. I think sometimes, Kevin, we just get it wrong. If you are on these committees, you should just get it wrong. They should have a former College Football Hall of Famer. They get to cast a vote of the final list. Lomas Brown, University of Florida got inducted in a couple of years ago. David Pollock is in. There are certain guys. Luke Kuechly should be in. All-time leader in tackles in college, played for 3 years. Hit everything that moved. Brian McKinney never gave up a sack at Miami. Never gave up a sack. Dwight Freeney, Robert Gallery, Reggie Bush. Sometimes, Kevin, when it comes to the College Football Hall of Fame, there are going to be guys that had incredible careers, just happened to play at a time to where somebody else there's only going to be one first-team All-American at quarterback. If you played during the time of Deshaun Watson, Tim Tebow, Johnny Manziel, Lamar Jackson, Trevor Lawrence, Tua, how you going to get in? I was going through Todd Gurley's resume, in the first hour of the show. He did all this, no first team All-American. They're gonna say that. Sorry, it's like you walk in and say Todd Gurley here for the College Football Hall of Fame.
And he's one that you look at and say this is one of the best players in college football, bar none, during his career. at the University of Georgia. I don't get it, but again, I think Tim Tebow, Ray Lewis, they ain't gonna have anything to worry about.
Yep.
I think they're gonna get Tim Tebow. Will get in. Will he get in on the first shot? Probably. I mean, I'm sorry, been like.
Yeah,
just from an iconic standpoint.
I don't want to be, even though they're nameless. I don't want to be on the. I don't want to be the one that's not voting him.
Hey, Tim Tebow, most popular player in college football and most famous player in college football in a long time. No, he's gonna have to wait another year. Okay,
he's outside with his entourage.
They're probably the same folks that didn't vote Babe Ruth in on the first ballot. Derek Jeter couldn't get on the first ballot. So they're not voting for Tim Jeter. I think there's only been one unanimous Hall of Famer so far. That's Mariano Rivera. Got 100%. Nobody. He's the only one. That means somebody voted no on everybody else at least once. We got more to come. It's 3 and Outs on the Pigskin Radio Network. Good to have you back here, 3 and Out on this Monday. Kevin Thomas and Ben Troop. If you missed any portion of the show, ESPNCoastal.com, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. You get a podcasted version of the show, or go to our YouTube channel, ESPN Coastal there on YouTube, and you can see Ben and mine's smiling faces. We break down Tom Hanks movies, NFL, baseball, much, much more. So ESPN Coastal there on YouTube. Love to have you give us a follow and a subscribe to the channel. You'll know when we go live each and every day. Thanks to Fred Owens for joining us here on the show. And Ben, we'll see you tomorrow here on 3 and Out.